As an Apple user, when you step out of your house, you're usually carrying three things: your phone, your watch, and your AirPods. That is the Apple's holy trinity. Every product connects so seamlessly, and every detail feels so polished. Each of those products serve a unique function. And if you are all in on the Apple ecosystem, then you know that this experience is second to none. But wait, what if I told you there's a device missing? Yeah, a product that's been quietly growing in popularity, a product so compelling that entire companies like Ultrahuman, Aura, Mavano, Circular, and others have built multi-million dollar businesses around it. I'm of course talking about the smart ring. That is one product category that Apple has puzzlingly remained distant from. And I just can't seem to understand why. Take a look at this clip.
You know, with all of our products, when they were launched, there were doubters, there were skeptics. With iPhone, it was about the keyboard. With the AirPods, people thought nobody would wear them. With the tablet, people were going, what is this for? With each one, there's been a story. But we have faith because we're about enriching people's lives.
Now, as per Tim Cook, the stance of Apple has always been to confidently venture into new product categories if they see a market for it. Be it the iPhone, the iPod, the AirPods, or even the Vision Pro. And yet, when it comes to a smart ring, they just seem to hold back for no apparent reason. Now I know what you're thinking. It's obvious, right? Apple already has the Apple Watch. So why would they cannibalize their own market? But I'm compelled to ask the question, if that is truly the case. Yes, at first glance, a ring would seem to overlap with the Apple Watch. Both are health and fitness devices, tracking all of the same data, but they serve very different purposes. Here's the thing, there isn't just one fitness market, there's two. I like to call them active trackers and passive trackers. Not everyone is a gym buff or a marathoner who needs their stats and heart rate readily available right on their wrist. For those people, the Apple Watch makes perfect sense. Now, you may ask me, but Sid, what's wrong with using an Apple Watch as a passive tracker? Well, there are actually 4 clear reasons as to why the Apple Watch is nowhere near as good as a smart ring for passive tracking. First and foremost, Apple Watch has a horrible battery life. You have to charge it every single day. There's so many people who are missing out on health tracking just because of this. Think of our parents' generation, who would get immense value from all the health data, but they could not be bothered about charging one another device. I mean, most of the times even their phones are barely charged, let alone any tertiary devices like tablets or watches. Or just think of you and I, lazy people. Some of us would just like the convenience of having our data tracked without adding any extra chores to it. And yes, you can build a routine around it. I personally charge mine in the morning while I'm getting ready before a shower. I wake up, I take the watch off, I put it on the charger, I make sure it's aligned properly, then I go to shower, I come back, I dry up, and then I wear my watch again. Simple, right? Now compare that with a smart ring. You wake up and you go about your day. Yeah, that's it. Unlike the Apple Watch, which you have to charge every day, a smart ring can usually last almost a week on a single charge. You just wear it and forget about it. In my opinion, the best health tech is the tech that you can forget you are even using. It integrates into your life so seamlessly that you barely even notice it. Speaking of showers, by the way, that brings me to my next point. Okay, I know the Apple Watch advertises itself as being waterproof for up to a certain amount of meters. But which of you honestly would take your watch for a swim? Or in the ocean? There have been countless cases where the waterproofing on the watch was just not strong enough and people ended up losing their entire devices. The ring, on the other hand, just feels so much more secure by its very design, thanks to its tightly packed internals. There's no reason for a ring to have speaker grills, moving buttons, and because of that, it's just one super tightly packed device. Thanks to all of this, it has way better waterproofing. I can actually confidently take my smart ring to the swimming pool without even thinking twice about it. Speaking of thinking, or not thinking, when the Apple Watch first came out, there were countless memes and jokes about people answering the phone calls on their Apple Watches like this. And if I'm being honest, I was also one of them. Not the people making the jokes, but actually someone trying to use their watch like this. We were all trying to figure out what was the purpose of this brand new device that Apple had launched. And initially, it was marketed as a replacement for your phone. The claim was that you wouldn't have to look at your phone all the time. You could just quickly reply to emails or dismiss notifications and answer calls all from your wrist without ever having to look at your phone. But as time went by, it became very clear to people that they would just rather look at the bigger screen of their phone than fiddle around in this tiny screen trying to figure out the latest notification or trying to type on this ridiculously small keyboard. Apple noticed this and quietly pivoted towards health and fitness. And that's where the Apple Watch found its footing. But do you know what tracks all the health data, the same health data as the Apple Watch, but it has zero potential for distractions? That's right, a ring. It's health tracking without another glowing screen on your face. It's completely unaware of your notifications, and it will not vibrate or ping you. Your notifications stay on your phone and your watch. The ring just sits there quietly collecting all your data, and that data is available to you when you are ready to see it, instead of it being pushed onto your face. Okay, this next one might be a little shallow. Tell me, how many times have you gone out on a formal event, like a party or a wedding, and you just felt that your Apple Watch wouldn't cut it? Now, we can't all be like MKBHD, sporting an Apple Watch to the Met Gala. Some of us still do need a decent analog watch. But with a watch, there is always that compromise. You can either choose style or you can choose health tracking. A ring, once again, it just blends so seamlessly into your outfit that you don't even have to think twice about it. It has such a tiny footprint, it goes so well with literally any outfit and any watch. This isn't just about convenience, it's about tech that disappears into your life. You don't have to change your habits, you don't have to plan your day around charging schedules. You don't even have to think about it. And that's when tech truly feels magical. And that is exactly what the Ring achieves. And it's not like Apple is not known to bifurcate and fragment their lineup. If Apple can have 4 to 5 variations of the same boring rectangular slab of glass, all doing exactly the same thing, if Apple can fragment their smartphone lineups this much, why can't they launch a smart ring? A product that actually serves a completely different purpose than the Apple Watch. And guess what? When people would buy the Apple Ring, the money would still go to Apple. Apple would not actually be losing as many Apple Watch customers as they would be gaining customers who are fed up of using third-party rings with subscription models. And finally, Apple is actually really good at health. Take a look at this chart from Quantified Scientist.
So here we have that zoomed in view. So these are just the devices with a correlation of 0.9 or higher. And it's again pretty clear that the Apple Watches are some of the best performers out there.
All of the Apple Watches, even the older ones, you see them right in the top right-hand corner. They're just so consistent in their measurements. Moreover, Apple has also been investing in the health space with the introduction of Apple Fitness Plus. So, Apple clearly has plans to expand into this space. So imagine this, a first-party Apple Ring with Apple's signature design and reliability, a week-long battery life, no subscription fees, no reason that it should have a subscription model given that Apple Watch does not have one, seamless integration with Health Kit, and when worn alongside the Apple Watch, it would give you even more accurate health data thanks to multiple data points. This wouldn't cannibalize the Apple Watch, it would complement it. And it would open up a whole new segment of users who want health tracking without wearing a smartwatch 24/7. So here's my take. I feel Apple is leaving a huge opportunity on the table. A ring would be differentiated enough from a watch that customers might often opt for both. A ring would give users something that the Apple Watch could never: better battery life, comfortable sleep tracking, and more robustness that it can be used in activities like surfing or swimming that you would never take your watch for. While the watch would continue to stay relevant for people who are in the gym or who are running or who are hiking, activities essentially where you need the data on your wrist right away. For example, being able to actively track your workout session in the gym, or being able to see what pace you're running at in a marathon, or when you're hiking out and about and you would like to see data such as your elevation or how much distance you have covered. These are very relevant use cases for which there is no replacement for the Apple Watch. So they would continue to complement and work alongside each other. But until Apple actually does release a ring, I think I will continue to use my watch for sleep tracking, because I'm not paying another subscription. While I know it's not the most comfortable, I do have a tiny hack that I can share with you if you are also someone who likes tracking their sleep via the Apple Watch. Notice how when you rest your wrist down, there's a slight gap created. Inverting the Apple Watch just fits this gap so neatly, it does not bother me during my sleep. See, what I do is I flip my watch on the inside of my wrist like this to make it less annoying. Personally, I have noticed no major differences in the data and the sleep tracking, but it is way more comfortable, as it blends seamlessly into that gap in the wrist. But you know what would solve this issue entirely? Yeah, a ring. If you would be interested in an Apple Ring, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this video. Maybe, just maybe, it might reach the right person. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.